Alright, new year it is, 2026. Except it's the same old shit. Except it's getting worse. Does it get worse before it gets better? Maybe that's what it is. We gotta really bottom out and really pile the shit on really high before we finally say, whoa, that's a big mountain of shit. You know? But, yeah, our president is the king of shit mountain. He's a famously incompetent, corrupt businessman who became a game show host. But he's also a sociopathic narcissist. He craves violence even though he's a weak, thin-skinned. Poor excuse for a human, Donald Trump is. Always has been. Inherited a shit ton of money that he used to buy fancy things with and create companies that in pretty short order will bankrupt. Again, he's a famously incompetent, corrupt businessman who became a game show host in the early 2000s. That's who Donald John Trump is. Surprise, surprise, he abused his power the first time. Wow, what a shocker. Even bigger shocker, the organization that picked him said, no, abusing your power is not a reason to get fired. You have to be a convicted felon, but you can't be charged with a crime while you're the president. But then later he was convicted of crimes, federal crimes. But 77 million still voted for him anyway. Because, you know, Kamala Harris, boo. Democrat bad. Woke is dumb. Democrat socialist. Yeah, I have a tough time connecting to the MAGA folk, even though I kind of immerse myself in where they congregate from time to time. It's just kind of fascinating to interact with them live, you know. Like Trump, even when Trump's not around and he's not watching them or anything, they'll still kind of give their praise to the man. I don't understand it. How did he do it? You know, a famous confidence man, famous for being a con man. That's why we know his name. That's what he's famous for. He was still able to con people, even say, no, he's not a con man. Like, no, that's, yeah, you know. So it's kind of, you either know or you don't, and you're making decisions accordingly. You know, Trump's a con man and should be fired from his job. Because his current job is one of immense responsibility and importance. It's a lot of power that we bestow upon that particular person. But it's a job, you know, so. And we have a process to fire that person when they're unworthy of it. So I wish we would do that sooner than later, given that his regime has murdered people now. Like a woman was executed in broad daylight by his regime. As the executor, the ICE agent said, fuck that bitch. After he executed her, shot her in the fucking face. After that, Trump set more ICE agents, unskilled, prone to violent, something's wrong in their wiring types, are flooding Minnesota. To stoke violence and fear, they're invading Minnesota. That's what they're doing. It's a federal invasion, the very thing our ancestors fought against. Like, it's a blatant abuse of power. I wish, but it's a bold wish, though, you know. I wish the Republican Party would grow a spine. That'd be neat to just give a fuck, you know. Like, but oof, that's asking a lot of that organization and its top leadership, you know. But one can pray and hope, because that's what it requires. They're the organization that controls all three branches of government currently. So in order for Trump to be fired, a good portion of them would have to approve of that. So, yeah, but I hope we do, because he can't. I don't know what the fuck we're going to be in 3 years if this trend just continues. where federal troops are just sent in to invade areas that don't like Trump because he's a famous dipshit, you know, who became a game show host. And if you know that, then he's going to sick his dogs on you, you know, if you were never fooled by his fucking mirage, you know. Like, I was 7 or 8 years old when I knew he was bad. I'm 45 now. Very depressing that this is what the United States of America is a ways into the 21st fucking century, you know. Trump, that dipshit from the 80s, he's still around. Fuck. I hope we get out of it sooner than later, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But breathing and holding your breath from time to time, letting the oxygen go to your brain, I think it's good for you. And I think more people need to do it. Breathe in the day, onward and upward. Peaceful and quickly. Amen.